All right. Hopefully, Dave is live streaming right now. I am not an expert at these computers. I am not an expert at YouTube. I am trying to get a hang of it, but hopefully it's all getting figured out right now. But hopefully I'm live streaming. Let me just take 1 second to double check here. Looks like it's working. Look at that. If anyone's watching, give me a hit in the chat right now so I can double check. All right. So, anyways, just wanted to give everybody a happy Memorial Day, first and foremost. Thanks to those that served and sacrificed for this country. Obviously, it does not go unappreciated with people like myself. I love this country. It's given me a lot. I've been very lucky to live here, and there's a lot of good friends I know that have served. That just deserve more than a thank you and more than just 1 day. Unfortunately, that's all they really get. Some other events get a whole month, but I think the veterans deserve a month to themselves. But hey, what can I do about that? But nonetheless, wanted to just give everybody an update on where I'm at currently. So I am now 19 weeks. I think it's 19 weeks. 19 weeks out from the East Coast Cup. That'll be my first show of the year. I plan on doing um, I plan on doing 2 shows this year. Same thing as last year. I want to do the same 2 shows. In our area, New England, I did last year the East Coast Cup in Connecticut, in New Haven, Connecticut, which is a great show. I've done a lot of them. I brought a lot of people to that show for their first time. Um, and it is definitely a good event for sure. Um, Hopefully I'm live. I can't quite tell. Anyhow, let me just double check one more thing. Sorry, everybody. Oh, I see. So I am live streaming right now, but I am live streaming to a different. I started another live stream, not the one I scheduled. So, hey, whatever. Shit happens. Let me see if I can delete this because it's gonna bother me, piss me off. I see. I got to figure all this out before I jump on. I'm really do suck at computers, to be honest. Um, let's see. YouTube Studio, content, live, and delete forever this other one. All right, there we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Anywho, what do I got on my ear? Got fuzzies on me. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. So this year we're gonna do the East Coast Cup and New England Championship in Boston. I did both of those last year. The first one, East Coast Cup, I got third in the heavyweights. It was my first show ever in the heavyweights. It was um, definitely a good showing for me to actually get placed there. Come on. For me, it was good showing. Um, I had never done the heavyweights before. Last year, I went from the light heavyweights. I was like 191. So 2 years ago, in that competition season, I was like 191 pounds and ended up getting up to, um, after 191 pounds, I competed in the light heavies and then went up to the heavyweights on the first show at East Coast Cup. I weighed in, I think, at like 206. So you got to be 197 to 225 in that range um, to compete in the heavyweights. So I was a small heavyweight, but I did pretty good. I competed against a lot of good guys there, and I ended up getting third place. Then at the New England's, which was a much bigger show, I definitely tightened up and even added a little bit more fullness and competed at 208 and got second place. So my goal right now is to um, do my best to get up to the first place in both of those shows. I really want to win them. Certainly a good show. Um, so it'll be a lot of fun to be successful in both of those. Hopefully, we'll see where I'm gonna weigh in the first year, though that was about 19 or 18 pounds of progress that I had. So, which is excellent. So I'm pretty happy about that. And not many opportunities do you get to really kind of level up for 18 pounds of stage weight and have still have excellent conditioning. So I was pretty happy about that. Um, and let's see, let me just see if I can turn on the comments. Live chat. There we go. All right. Let's try the chat. Yeah, if someone's watching, just throw something in the live chat. I'm just trying to figure out how to work this year. I promise I'll be an expert soon enough. There we go. We got Sean on. Perfect. Appreciate it. Um, yeah, so we're just starting right now, prep getting into for the first show. So this year again, they're like 3 weeks apart. I think I'll be competing on October, the first week of October, and then the very last week of October again. So I'm pretty pumped about that. Hoping to bring a win home. I know I could have been better last year. I was just a small heavyweight. Those guys that beat me were just barely squeaking in that day, under 225. So hopefully we can progress. I think I'll probably be around 215 plus. So I'm thinking I put on 9 to 10 more pounds of mass this year. So we'll see what happens. I know my conditioning's always kind of our calling card. Jackie and I are always shredded. She sometimes is too shredded, to be completely honest, for her division. But for myself, I just want to make sure that I continue to uphold that level of conditioning that I hold myself to, which is usually the easy part. Just not overdoing it where I get too flat is the key. Actually, see if we can pull up some pictures, but so that's where I'm at right now. It's kind of the easy part. Right now, we're just pretty much the getting into everything. So food's kind of pulled back. We went from like total off-season mode to where I was eating 3 high days a week, 1,000 grams of carbs or more per high day, up to the scenario where now 20 weeks out, what we usually do is just pull food back. So we go from like 3 high days, really don't change anything. We go from like 3 high days directly into two, excuse me, 1 high day. So that's good for me. See if we can bring up my page. I should have some pictures. Let me share my screen. Kind of show you where I was at last year. Not sure if hopefully everybody can see this. Let's see, last year. So this is actually my first competitive season. This was where I was about the 191-pound place. I did get a second and a fourth that year. My first year ever competing, so that was pretty nice. Conditioning was on par. Just needed to fill out more, needed more size on my frame. Um, you can see there's one shot. I don't know if it's in here. I do have one shot. You can see me from the back doing a back double bicep, and normally you see guys let their gut hang out on that back double. I was so shredded, you could see from the front of me on a back double how lean I was. And whenever anyone asks kind of, you know, what my condition is like, that's kind of the picture I like to show. Um, let's see, I got to have some pictures from last year on my Instagram here. So let's see what this is. Oh, this is the New England's. Do I have anything from East Coast Cup? I'm always a loser and never share much. I might not have shared much from the East Coast Cup, but let's see what these pictures are. So yeah, you can see a lot bigger. You can see the 18 to 20 pounds we put on this year or last year from the 191 to the 206 and 208 range. So I was about 208 on the New England's about 4 weeks after my first show. Conditioning was still on par with what I like to see. Um, Not really the best shot there. I look like a red monster. But from the back, you can see the conditioning, so this is kind of what I want to uphold to all the way from the very lower back. Had a little loose skin, so you can see a little bit peeking out right here, but you can see the glutes are in, the hamstrings are shredded and dug out. You can just see detail all through my back, and you can even see a gap on the peaks of my bicep. There's literally no fat to go really anywhere. This is a good picture to kind of show the conditioning we had, and everything all the way from the heels of my feet all the way to the top of my head we had dug out at about 208 on stage. So I was pretty happy about that. Um, oh, this is East Coast Cup. So this was the winner. You can see he was about 225. I remember him trying to just piss out a little bit of extra water to make weight. And here I am at about 206. He's got some tall, a few inches on me, and his quads are much bigger than mine. Um, but this was first place. This is third. Um, you can see the conditioning was pretty good. So hoping to make improvements from what you're seeing here. I'm pretty confident we're going to do all right. So I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to continue to do the East Coast Cup and the um, New England's until I win them. That's my goal. Um, I don't think I have anything too current either. This one's fun. This one's 2 years of progress from when I first took on coaching to last year. Yeah, big difference for sure. Let's see, do we have anything current? No, I got to get better at posting some shit. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. So I'm pretty happy with my progress. I didn't get much bigger in my off season. I got up to like 240, like 245. In the year before last year, I got up to like 240, 245. But this time my conditioning stayed much, much better. Definitely massively leaner. You could just see more size, and my quads have grown. Like my feedback's always been, they want to see more quad definition. They want to see more quad sweep and size, and then a little bit more width to my back. Um, would just kind of fill out my frame, but stuff like shoulders, chest, and arms have always been fine. My midsection, I don't even train it. And my calves, I don't train, but they're always ideal. And my traps are always fine, and I don't train any of that shit, to be completely honest with you. But let me see if I can pull up, and we'll just kind of go over. Well, I don't have it set up, but I was going to say we could go over kind of what we got for cycle and diet. Um, so current diet right now is, let's see, I can pull that up. Um, Current diet right now, one high day. We pulled the high day down to about 900 carb range. Um, So let's see if I can pull this up. There we go. So let's share this. So this is current diet right now. I share the right thing? Hopefully. Well, you guys can see my whole screen. Yeah. So this is current diet right now. So medium days, I actually have 35 grams of carbs here. But I ended up splitting them and putting them a little bit more around the workout window. So it's actually truly 35 here. We got 50 here and 75 here and 35. So not a whole much for carbs right here. Um, this is 50. So we got medium day around 300, averaging. Hey, sweetie, you coming in? Okay. You can come grab a chair if you want. Jacko's here. She hates being called that, but I love calling her Jacko. Ain't that right, Sugar Plum? um, so high day, this is really one. Let's just straighten this out while we're on here, do a little coaching cleanup. But this is accurate. So these high days right now are running at about 135 grams of carbs per meal. We always kind of lower the protein on that day, um, just because carbs are protein sparing. So we have a little bit of room to just not fill yourself up and feel totally engorged on your high day. So, and then around the workout window, I don't know why this is all split up wrong. But anyways, around the workout window, we're doing 150 grams of carbs pre and post, 50 intra, and this is 135. So we're totaling 875 for carbs right now. So that's not a bad high day. That's enough to fill me out. And then these low days are completely carb free, about 250 grams of protein. I do like veggie or berries, so maybe like a half a cup of berries or a cup of like vegetables to help fill myself up. So that's always kind of fun. Um, I don't have my cycle written down here, but basically during this, where are we? Basically during this 4 week kind of cleanup before we get 16 weeks out, I'm going to be pretty much holding back my gear to pretty much it's like 500 tests right now and about 300 primo. That's about it. I was probably double that, to be honest, in the off season. We were pushing pretty hard with around 10 units of growth hormone and insulin as needed, so nothing wild. But pulled it back to cut that in like half, just so I can just like pin less and not worry about administering much for another 4 weeks and kind of enjoy that for a little bit. Um, because it does get exhausting completely, pinning every day, a couple mLs and this and that. It's a pain in the ass. So that's where I'm at right now. So I'm just kind of enjoying the next 4 weeks of like this pre-prep. Jackie and I are kind of fans of doing that, like, before a show, get a little extra time to pull off food, pull off like a little bit of fatigue from cardio, pull off a little bit of just like the strenuous part of bodybuilding itself. The training pretty much stays high, but we might just not put a bunch of intensifiers in there, really just kind of freshen up. So that way, when we get 16 weeks out, we've already cleaned up some body fat. We've already got ourselves in a position where we're a little bit more food sensitive, hunger starting to build. Again, you drop a handful of pounds pretty quick and easy and cheap. Pin a little less, get your receptors a little bit more, I guess you'd say, sensitive for the cycle you're going to run during the prep, and just freshen up. So it's kind of actually nice. You can make some progress and kind of back off a little bit. Um, so we said what's up to Sean already. What's up, Sean? Wolf, how do you know your low slash deficit days are too low in calories? I notice my sleep drops off a few days after my high carb day. So how do I know that they're too low? How do you know your low slash deficit are too low in calories? Well, the whole idea of like, so if we're running 3 diet days, right? Um, so both look at it this way. If you're going to run 3 diet days, right, you've got your training is going to be your medium day. So that's going to be what you're eating 2/3 of the time, right? Is going to be pretty much your training. The food that can fill you out in a deficit is going to be that high day. And then the food that can push you into a surplus is going to be the high day in a growing scenario. That low day is just for a non-training day. So what you want to do is, how do I know it's too low? Is if I'm just kind of driving myself crazy for hunger. There's nothing wrong with being in a deficit. The whole goal is to be in a deficit on a low day so you can kind of get a little bit of a hunger rebound. You can feel the hunger coming back. You get your digestion to take a little bit of a break. You don't need as much carbs because you're not putting out as much energy. Um, so you don't have, you're not out there training, you're not doing cardio, you're resting. So you just need protein and fats. So the only time that I'd say it's too low is if you're not meeting your protein requirements, and if you're not at least hitting some of those fat requirements that are going to just help with general health and to keep some calories in on a low day, keep you a little bit satiated. Fat's not satiating. People always think that it is. It really doesn't trigger satiation at all in the body. But having some vegetables, protein, fats, it gets you through that deficit day. Again, gets your insulin sensitivity up a little bit just by doing that for a few days. I take 2 days off. Jackie usually takes,
Three.
yes, so Jackie's got Wednesdays and she takes her Saturday and Sunday. She only trains 4 days a week.
But
Um,
my Wednesday is still a medium day,
sure.
because I'm a person that drops weight easily.
Mhm.
So for Wolf, for your question of how do you know if your low day is
Too low.
too low? I mean, the way I look at it is if I'm like getting fatigued and lethargic on my off days, or if I'm falling flat and it's hard for me to fill back out. I'm a person on my low days. I always have a decent amount of carbs still, but Dave's the opposite, where he's pretty much carb free on his.
Mhm.
I could not do that. Um, that would just make me have leaps and valleys with fatigue, and I wouldn't be recovering properly. And I also would be stepping into the gym Monday extremely flat.
Yeah. Yeah, very true. Luckily for me, I kind of need where 1,000 grams of carbs is a lot. Even if you're only doing 1 day out of a week, my medium days are still a decent amount of food and food volume. I still have my vegetables. So just actually, I don't mind 2 days in a row pulling back food. There's sometimes I wish I could at least grab a couple rice cakes in the off season. I might do that. But in prep scenario, that's the point is to be in a deficit and
Mhm.
to give your digestion a break for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a nice part of low days.
yeah. Yeah, and if anybody's got any questions, feel free to drop them right in the live chat and we'll answer them while we're on here. We're just going to do a quick another little bit and then get off. But I told everyone where I'm at. Where's Jackie at for updates?
Where am I at?
Yeah, so
Hmm.
Jackie's on kind of a long haul. She ain't competing anytime soon, but I'll
No,
let you kind of give them an
we'll be
idea.
starting prep this year after Christmas. So pretty much going into the new year is when I be kicking off prep. Because I am going for the New York Pro next year. So I'm just trying to put on as much size as I can right now. Come here, buddy. Bucky wants to come say hi to the. Come on, come on up. But uh, he camera shy. But no, I mean, I'm enjoying off season, put it that way. Um and it also makes it like a lot funner for me to like attend clients' shows and everything when I'm in off season.
Yeah.
It's just everything's more enjoyable right now.
Yeah, we got a lot of people competing. We got next week. So this week right now is peak week for Jay. We'll do a video on him. on his show and how that went.
It's gonna be fun.
Yep. So he's coming down to stay with us for a little bit. He's going to come down on Wednesday, the day before his carb up. So he'll be here Wednesday night. He'll be here all of Thursday, so he didn't have to drive from Virginia to Massachusetts and carb up at the same time and still drink 2 gallons of water. So he'll be with us to do that. And then we'll go train, give him a little pump workout. And
Yep.
then Friday, we head to Rhode Island for the casino, which is where they're doing the show.
Yeah.
Going to Airbnb for a couple nights.
Yeah, I don't know anybody out there. If you guys are at the show there, come say hi to us
Yeah,
or see us.
the Rhode Island Championship NPC at the Twin Rivers Casino.
This is a new show.
Yeah.
Um
Well, they
I
had it for a while and then they just brought it back.
okay.
Yeah, they
But
had it for a little bit.
before Justin wasn't the promoter, right?
Right, because they had this guy named Guy that was a worked there for the NPC for
Yeah,
years.
I remember him.
And he was kind of an old timer that
Yep.
had been in the sport for a while and passed. And I think he was one of the promoters and sponsors and kind of organizers of that show.
So now Justin Randall
So
does it.
yeah, it seems like a couple people and some sponsors like Olympus Gym. So shout out to them and Framingham, Mass.
Yeah.
They've donated a lot and helped out a lot with keeping trying to get that revived and put back into the schedule, as well as they did sponsored the Cutler and sponsored a few other shows. One thing I want to go back, Wolf, you had asked, you noticed that your sleep drops off a few days after your high carb day. So I'm assuming maybe your digestion might be thrown off a little bit, or you might have just you usually sleep pretty well on a high day, not just because of the food, but the insulin spike
Hmm.
gets you tired. You notice after each meal, you're almost ready for a nap, and it's just like almost an event to eat all these large meals on those high days. So that kickoff of insulin that your pancreas is secreting on its own, or if you're using exogenous insulin as well, is going to just give you a little bit of a peak in the insulin to uptake the nutrients and then a crash. So you do feel a little bit tired, and then maybe it's easier to sleep around that high day for you, and then it starts to drop off because your pancreas levels out and insulin levels kind
Yeah,
of level off. So maybe that's part of it for you.
I would suggest to be tracking your glucose levels on your high days.
Yeah. What, Bucky? If you want to be on the show, come on. Pick him right up. Our cat wants to say hello. Um, yeah, and that's pretty much our update of where we're at. We're both pretty excited. I can't wait to see Jackie on the pro stage soon enough. That's gonna be pretty dope, for sure.
He's here.
hmm Get her first show. I can't wait to be backstage representing the East Coast.
Yeah,
hmm
it'll be
Hey,
fun.
mister.
Lucky boy.
um, but there is one thing I want to show everybody we're going to do next time. Let me see if I can pull it up here. So I wanted to do, and I'll show Jackie while it's here. So
Not the purrs.
what we want to do is start doing see if everyone can see this. Yeah. So hopefully everybody can see this now. So what I want to start doing for fun is some of these brackets for different topics. Everybody has a show where they rank their favorite anabolics or their favorite supplements or their must-have workouts or foods and top muscle building carbs and all this shit. I'd love to start doing ones that are like we put testosterone here if it would let me fill it in. Maybe it won't let me type while I'm sharing.
All right, it's not working.
It should.
Huh.
Yeah, that's all right.
Darn it.
I'll figure it out. But I'd love to start doing like a Sweet 16 bracket. I think that would be so sick for our it'd be pretty sweet to actually do that for like our actual breakdowns of like, you know, seeing what's our favorite supplements and shit like that. It's a whole lot better than ranking them from 1 to 0.
Yeah.
Um Trent is number one, ain't nothing better. I don't know. I think testosterone. If I was only going to use one anabolic, I'd have to put test at the top, Josh. Um, but yeah, I'll figure out how to use this at the same time. Maybe it's because I'm sharing. Let's see if I don't share and type away.
Is your keyboard dead? Nope. Weird.
Maybe it is.
No, because you just hit the volume.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Ah, we'll figure it out. See, I told you Dave sucks at computers. What else? We got Wolf. I'm dieting right now by low days, and I meant both medium and low days. Well, you're gonna want your medium day to basically be your so your low day should be in a slight deficit, in my opinion, to give you an idea of like how to set these, right? So what I'll do is I'll set carbohydrates. Well, I'll set protein by my weight. So like 1.25 gram of proteins per body weight. So you're looking at like 250 grams of protein for a 200-pound man. So 1.2 grams. Um, Fat should be about a third, zero point 0.3 grams for each body weight. So you're looking at what's that? Like 60 grams for a 200-pound man. And then find what your BMR is and put yourself in a deficit with your carbohydrates for your low day. Put yourself at a maintenance with your medium days and put yourself into a surplus through carbohydrates on the high day. So that's the way I like setting them up. Just trying to draw a line between digging for fat loss, but not digging too hard when it severely impacts sleep a few days post high day. Well, look at your entire look at your entire week and try to evaluate, am I losing too much body weight in 1 week's time? If you're losing 3 or 4 pounds each week, you're going at too fast of a rate, and you got an opportunity to unfortunately burn some muscle mass, which you don't want to do. So I would say 2 pounds is a maximum per week deficit to put yourself in. And you should see, like the first week you go on a diet, you might drop some water weight, so you might see 4 pounds, a little bit of fat and a little bit of water at the same time. But eventually you should see a trend over maybe, let's say, 4 weeks where you can get a good evaluation of, am I hitting 2 pounds on average? Try to look at the long term package there and say, am I hitting 2 pounds or 1.5 pounds per week? As long as you're doing that, Wolf, then you're doing all right. Too much is just going to burn some body fat.
Looking at Nerd Sweat, um, specifically talking for females for growth hormone for fat loss. So for females, it's roughly like 1 to 2 IUs, just like I'm agreeing with Joshua Perry. You'd want to be taking that in the morning for your fasted cardio for best results.
Yeah, if it's for fat loss, I'd pin intramuscularly.
Yeah.
What's the show? Um, oh God, Dr. Scott Stevenson just did something on intramuscular versus sub-Q, and it's been a big topic of pinning intramuscular versus sub-Q. We do see blood serum concentration levels peak in about 30 minutes, I believe, in intramuscular. So if you want to use a unit or two to help lipolysis during your fat loss phase, as in like fasted cardio, or maybe towards the end of the night you've been fasting or something like that, whatever your strategy is. When glucose is kind of on the low side, put some growth hormone in and try to go ahead and burn some fat and pin intramuscularly. In the off season, I would say for a woman, it would be no different than for a man. Probably at nighttime, get the bolus dose and pin it all then.
Yeah, you
And
can do that sub Q.
yeah, and that you can do sub Q to get more of a leveled, so you don't have such a high peak and such a quick drop off. Yeah, 1 to 2 is plenty. I have seen women push it up to wherever
like
their,
like 6
yeah, well, wherever their side effects
side
start to
effect.
come up. So, like, let's say you don't have any problems with like carpal tunnel sensation or poor sleep quality or falling, or the other, you're too tired during the day from pinning 4 or 5 units of growth hormone, then push your dose if you're looking for real enhancement. Yeah. Keep an eye on your blood sugar so that way you're not just kind of running high blood sugar over periods of time as well. But
Yeah,
you can push it as far as you can comfortably with side
yeah,
effects.
like breaking, if you're having side effects, instead of like totally cutting it back, you might want to try spacing it apart throughout the day first and see if that helps symptoms subside first. If it doesn't, then you're going to want to start pulling back or take it out for an entire week and see if it helps with your symptoms. And then um, when you go back in with it, just start with a smaller dose again.
Dave Cer whatever, Dave Cersei Dude has 352 followers and acts like a professional personal trainer from Gold's Gym. I saw you walking
Really?
around with McRae in women's underwear and you look smaller than a third grader.
We don't
That's
even have a
awesome.
Gold's Gym.
Yeah. And judging by your picture, you look about the size of my left quad, Dave.
Okay, troll.
Yeah. Keep them coming. I enjoy this. But yeah, I probably was wearing women's underwear knowing me, fucking kid. Take a nap, pussy. You're very creative, David. I'm very proud of you.
Yeah, let's check. Let's look that guy up. Let's see what you look like, buddy.
Look at his
Look at
picture.
some fat fuck.
He looks like he's in the fourth grade picking on a third grader. Anyways, we all got
Yeah.
to start somewhere, David. David. Um, yeah, I love you too, Josh. What else do we
Pretty
got?
laughable cheeks.
I prefer five plus should also specify for female. McRae makes good. Who's McRae?
Is he talking about Zach?
No, I don't think this guy knows who we're talking about, like who we are at all.
No, I
Are
don't
you
think
talking
that.
about
I
like
don't
you
think so
talking about
either.
that singer? What is it, Tate McRae? The
I don't know.
girl?
Either way, like there's no Gold's Gym, and I love
I
how
do
he's
have
just scrolling.
I do have clappable cheeks. Yeah. Awesome.
Slap that shit.
Slap that shit. Um, anyways, if anybody's got more questions, drop them in. If they want to see pictures of me in my panties, let me know too.
Yeah,
Pull
Dave.
those up.
Dave models female undies. Don't you know that?
Yeah.
Me undies. We gotta get sponsorship from Me undies.
Me undies.
Are
Oh shit.
you gonna look that guy up?
No, I'm gonna show me in my panties and tell me how small I am.
Oh,
Let's see. Let's see.
are you sharing the screen right now?
No.
No.
Let's see. There you go. There's me in my underwear. That's the biggest third grader I've ever seen. Yeah. I'm taking pride in that, David. Thank you. You just had me pull up more pictures to just get pat myself on the back. Let's see. These are called hamstrings. You might never seen them before dug out like that, homie. Just so you know. Anyways, Dave, be sure to subscribe and like and put notifications so you can jump on anytime. I know I'm trying to navigate through all these screens here. See if we got any last questions. Great is great for handies. Clap, clap, fap, fap. Josh, you're too much, buddy. Josh, I heard you on last that you I heard that you dropped 100 pounds or something like that. You were in the 300s before. What are you weighing now? I'm curious. I saw you a couple video games and your woman string undies and your legs looked like Chester the chickens.
Sweet, dude.
Okay,
No idea what you're talking
you're
about.
clever. I love it. Keep them coming, Dave.
That's not
You'll get a
funny.
you'll get a winner soon enough. Um, anyhow, Jackie's wearing our new shirts.
Yeah,
We got to put in an order.
they're completely oversized. I can't even go.
170.
The back is the sickest, though.
So Josh, you're weighing 270 now. You were 450, dude. That's awesome, man. Good for you. What did you?
You see the bottom?
Oh no no. Yeah. See,
This is a
okay. Hold on. Stay right there. It says don't train. Oh, the other way. Like a pussy. Just so you know, David. Um, it's fucking good shit, Josh.
let's get it.
From your woman in the chair. You wish, David. You don't got enough money in your fucking bank account. Anyhow, that's right. If you want $20, she'll do a whole spin around. Just drop a super chat for us, please. Josh lost 170 pounds running 4 miles a day, ran a marathon at 350, and sprained two metatarsals, whatever, how you ever you say that. Fuck, dude. Good for you,
Solid.
man. Keep it up. I lost, I've never had, well, I've had 170 total if you add it up now. I've been 300 pounds, three different occasions. and dropped 80 plus
Oh,
pounds
yeah.
a couple times. So it's I know how tough that is, dude. That's not easy. Especially it's not like just dropping 20 pounds. You're just constantly at a grind. Like I remember looking in the mirror and jumping on the scale a few times and saying, "Wow, I just dropped 40, finally hit 40 pounds or 50 pounds." And then you look in the mirror and you're deflated. You're like, "Oh, I got so much more to go." It can be such a pain in the ass. None the, you know. So keep it coming, dude. Pete Goldsby. You going for 210, then gain some muscle. Yeah, just take your time, dude. Like, don't be in a rush by any means. Like, every time I've tried to rush things, the look just never came along. Like, you know as well as I, you can drop body fat pretty quick, at big clips, but then you get loose skin. Like, I did that mistake, had to learn how to, kind of tighten up skin and just stay lean for long enough periods. Use a little bit of that GHK copper, growth hormone after time kind of pulls it all together. But the quicker you lose it, kind of the worse the look kind of comes. You can see it looks like you had cheap fat loss, and then you burn some body fat, and it's just no bueno. So take your time, build like that quality base in the gym of strength. So when you do transition with your diet, it's just going to be that much easier for you to just fall in place and continue to pick up the progress that you're used to. Um, some loose belly skin, but not much. Yeah, it goes away. So like actually I'll show you. I think Paul showed on his um I think Paul showed on his before, but the picture I had on my Instagram I had put up because it did show my skin. So we'll go right back. So right here. So you can see, so this is July of 2022, and this was probably, I don't know what I'm weighing here, to be honest. I want to say maybe 195, 205 range. And this is probably same, like 205 to maybe 212 range, somewhere in there. But all this skin slowly starting to tighten up. And it wasn't that bad. Like it was worse before on the initial fat loss. But slowly over time, you can see it just started to pull back up. And it's almost like the dermis itself just keeps getting healthier and regenerating and just keep tucking together. Like you can tell I'm obviously posing bigger and having a little bit of a stretch here. But you can see it's really non-existent. I don't know if I have a side shot. Oop, that's not how you go through pictures. Um, no, I thought I had like a quarter turn. You would have been able to see. But even some of like this stuff on the side that just gets saggy, it goes away over time. I mean, obviously I built some muscle that kind of pulled it all together, and obviously some pharmacology, but um yeah, don't let that part discourage you. You'll if you focus on other stuff, it'll just start to tighten back up on its own for sure. Appreciate it, man. Croc Lesnar. uh, love it. Any other questions from anybody before we take off? David, I actually like you, dude. Can I click on you? I should just let you be my moderator. Josh, this guy's trying to take your expert troll position from you. You ain't gonna let that shit happen, are you?
I'm gonna go back to right here.
We'll
Yeah,
have to order the wife and I a couple of those.
yeah,
Couple of what?
these oversized shirts. We don't have them
Yeah,
yet. We're gonna have them.
we just are in the process of ordering. These are the samples.
Yeah, these are the samples. We're giving them a whirl first, kind of putting them through the wash, wearing them in workouts and stuff like that. I was trying to find the woman's sport bra, and I put it somewhere and I can't find it right now, but um, that one is going to be a popular one for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're trying to just right now finish our I've been working full time on right now full time just bodybuilding coach, so I kind of have my um ducks in line to get my website put together. Um Want to do a website where people can join the coaching instead of just contacting us directly. They can go right to the website, join coaching that way. They can do consultations and pay for them right there and schedule them. We can also get a scenario where we can just sell training programs if people want to switch up their training, or a girl wants to do like a booty builder. Jackie can put that together and put that up for like a PDF that is just constantly can be downloaded. Um, and then I also want to do a little bit of swag. So we'll turn like 5 items that we have now, sell those, and just turn the profit right into like 10 items. And then eventually it'd be nice to have a little bit of clothing. And I think Paul wants to put some anabolic bodybuilding stuff up on our website. But the cool thing I want to do is get a forum, old school forum format put onto the website so people can kind of talk that way. I think that'd be pretty badass.
Yeah, we did have a lot of shirts, but all the shirts sold out. All we have right now are hats, and they're really cool hats. We have three different kinds.
Yeah.
Um, so Nerd Sweat, who are you guys if you see us all the time?
I don't know. Yeah, Sean, that's the plan so far is to get that all put together. But anyhow, we're gonna jump off. We appreciate you guys watching. Yes, all 4 of you, David, that's correct. I'm glad that you joined. You're one of the fortunate few to have found us. But nonetheless, we're gonna have I just put out a new video today. Just kind of going over a day in the life of the beginning of my competitive season and just some kind of food and some training in that aspect. So you guys can check that out if you want. And then at the end of the week, we'll have one of our competitors hopefully taking home a first place prize. We'll see what's the deal with that, but we'll bring you through the whole scenario and just document it and go through everything with you guys. So be sure to like and subscribe and to comment and give us a little bump. So
We appreciate you guys.
appreciate it. Hope everyone has a good Memorial Day, and we'll catch you guys later. Be good.
Hmm.